We're fortunate enough to live in a time when we've made a lot of forward progress in terms of coming together and moving past our differences. However, we haven't fully fixed the issue. There's still prejudice, and we're still really divided worldwide when you think about it. You know, we see it every day on the news. You know, there's a tragedy there or an incident there. You know, maybe you see it in everyday life. You could be standing behind somebody in a coffee shop and they make a snide remark. You know, you could be riding in the car with your friend and they make a racist joke. You might even see it in yourself, you know, when you judge somebody based on what they look like, when you've never actually had a conversation with that person. And when I think about all these ideas and these concepts, it makes me ask the question, what would it take? You know, what would it take for us to really come together as a people and see past our differences? Obviously, I'm not the only person who's thought about that. And one person who's thought about that, who actually had a pretty cool quote about it, was Ronald Reagan. During his time as president, and especially during the Cold War, he thought about what could bring us together. And one quote he had from a presidential press conference I really liked. He said, "Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were to be facing an alien threat from outside this world." Now, when you think about that concept, it makes a lot of sense. If an alien threat were to come to this world, something greater than us, something greater than the human race, we would immediately see past our differences because we would have no other choice to. We would have to come together as a people. And that's why I want to take this concept and incorporate it into my design for Time magazine. Now, in looking at some of your other covers, I kind of picked out a couple that I liked. They're simplistic, but they're able to get their message across. When you look at this image on the right, you have the red maple leaf and then you have the two feuding faces. Very simplistic, and yet it sends a message, and the viewer can immediately understand what's going on, or at least get a context. You have the red maple leaf, so you automatically think Canada. You have the two feuding faces, perfectly balanced on both sides, and you immediately understand that there's controversy in Canada. That message is clear, and not a word has been put on the page. That's what we want to go for. Also looking at it, it has great balance, as I mentioned. It's not overwhelming on either side. It's appealing to the eye, and you can make out what the image is. Then when we move over here to another cover, we have something kind of similar in that it's simplistic. It catches the eye with its bright color, thanks to the black backdrop, and it gets the message across. And then right down here, what I really like about this cover, one word, meltdown. Everybody understands. That's what we're going for. That's what we want to be able to do. We want it to grab the reader's eye, and we want it to send a message, and we want them to get the message with minimal words. Now, when I was thinking about how I would do that and incorporate the theme that I'm going for, I thought about maybe having an Earth at the bottom of the page, and then maybe having a spaceship looming over it, a looming threat, almost. But then I thought, how can I incorporate unity into that? Maybe I could have people circling the world, holding hands. Maybe I could have hands going all the way around the world, 360, holding. But then I thought there's just too much going on in that image. Nobody's going to get that. It's going to take away from what we're trying to do. So when I initially started designing, this is kind of the concept that I'm looking at. You have two hands, each from separate races, coming out together. It's balanced, it doesn't overwhelm on either side, and you immediately get the message. You immediately understand that symbol. Now obviously this is a rough sketch, and we're going to make a few changes. Well, more than a few. The UFO image I just put in there to kind of let people know, let you guys know the concept that I'm going for. When you have the UFO here with the two hands, and then a beam of light coming down on them, as shown in this poster, I really like this because you immediately know it's a threat. It's threatening you. And then you see the two hands coming together in my design, and you understand unity. Now going back to what we saw with the Donald cover, where it had meltdown, one single word, that's what we do with our poster too. But instead of meltdown, we ask our question, what would it take? Using three simple things, we can send a message, and people will understand it. Now with the what would it take, I'm thinking Franklin Gothic font. One, because it's bold, it'll catch the reader's eye, which is what we're planning to do. And it's serious. It's not funny, it's not going to detract from the message that we're trying to give. And that's what I really like about it. Now when you think about what we're trying to do with this, we're trying to catch the reader's eye, we're trying to send them a message, and we're trying to get them thinking. My design concept, I believe, does all of those things. And that's why I believe you should choose it. I thank you for your time.